unless my Lord does bestow his mercy. But surely, certainly, my Lord is all forgiving, most merciful. The point to be made for this presentation in these two verses is that Allah understands our human nature. Allah created our human nature and the shortcomings of the English language and its ability to really capture the meanings that are in the Lughat al-Arabiya, the Quranic language. We have to be aware of that. Man is not sinful by nature. Man is not evil by nature. Man is not born in sin in al-Islam, but man does have proclivities until and unless he grows and evolves to do what we call evil. That's not his nature, that's not his destiny, that is a part of his potentiality. And that's a part of the trial of life, growing out and above and over that quality in his nature. I'll mention it, I won't elaborate on it, but I want it to be understood that that commentary is supported by the language of the Qur'an. It's not reasoned away in some kind of philosophical gymnastics or sophistry, if you will. In this statement, God says, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا is another place in the Quran. But when you understand the grammar of it, you understand that, yes, man has this proclivity, but it is a proclivity that is not a part of his nature, but because of the nature of his existence, having free will and such, that he makes mistakes before he gets corrected. And so I'll leave that there, and we're going to come back to it. And I've already said it, but I'll say it again. We don't have the time to parse out all of the words. However, it's the principal fact of human life that we're speaking to mainly. Imam Muhammad, in speaking about Surah 113, Al-Falaq, the dawn, it begins the first few verses. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق. It says, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the dawn from the sharr من خلق, from the sharr, from the potential harm, and some translate it as evil, from the potential harm of what Allah has created. So there is potential for harm, for evil, for bad in the nature of creation. That's a part of our life, and it's a part of the nature of creation. It's a part of life on this side of death. Imam's comments are these that we'll share. It says the sharr, which means the potential for harm and evil, and the khair, which is the potential for excellence and benefit. In everything, there is shar and khair in everything, he says, and God has the qadr. The qadr, this is one of the beliefs of al-Islam, and that it is that belief and those beliefs that enable us to deal with life as it is and be in a state of peace and promise and progress. When we understand what is the nature of life, no matter what it is that we're facing in life. It says God has the qadr, and in the beliefs of al-Islam, stated briefly, it says, رضيت بالله تعالى ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد النبي وبالقرآن حكما وإماما. And also in those beliefs that we believe in Allah as our Lord, and we believe in the angel wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi. We believe in the angels, and we believe in the books. And the key belief is that we're speaking to the qadri khayrihi wa sharrihi min Allah ta'ala, and the potential for harm and benefit, the capacity for harm and benefit. And again, can be loosely translated good and evil, and as the Imam speaks about it, he is actually translating this khayr and shar as good and evil. قدره وخيره وشره من الله تعالى. The measure of it is with Allah. Allah knows how much potential good and how much potential harm is in everything. And there is potential good and harm, good and evil, the Imam says here, in everything. The Imam goes on, he says, He, Allah, has set the balance for this good and evil. He has put it in the balance, and if you respect the balance, you get the good. If you disrespect the balance, you get the harm or the measure. It is a difficult word to translate. That's what you're feeling in some of my hesitance, because we know that it's so much deeper than English really can support, can explain. But the Imam says it even here. He says, you get the harm or the measure, meaning the qadr. It is a difficult word to translate. It means God has, in creating it, meaning everything, in creating the universe, in creating the reality that we live in, God has, in creating it, He has already set the rules for governing these things. The rules were set by God before we were even created. In the matter itself, He has set the rules. He has determined how the creation will yield benefit and goodness, and how it will cause or bring harm or loss. It's all set by God and been determined by Him in the making of the creation itself. It's a big question, but I'm going to push you away from the proclivity of some people to translate the qadr. Qadri khayrihi wa sharrihi min Allah ta'ala is what the Imam al-Mufassir says. I want to push us away from that setting that says foreordainment, predestination. This is not what the qadr actually means, and so we have to put it there. But in the nature of life, in our existence, there's going to be benefit, there's going to be harm, there's going to be good, there's going to be evil, until life ends for us in this world. So in principle, understand, let's put it in this language, cornerstone. The cornerstone of coming to rest. What I mean to rest, I mean in your mind, in your heart, and God has to guide us, because we're talking about belief, we're talking about faith, we're talking about how the world should be seen, how life should be seen in the face of all the things that we have to face in life, including the good and the evil. There's no way, because we're never going to be, as long as we exist, there will never be an absence of evil. There's always going to be a presence of evil. The key is how to respond in the presence of it, how to address it. And that's what Al-Islam has provided, and that's what the model of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives us. Because reality didn't change when Muhammad was born. Reality didn't change when Muhammad became the prophet. Reality didn't change 10,000 years before or 2,000 years after Jesus, if you will. It's always here, and it's always with us. It's the nature of life. God says, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ الْعَمَلَ. He is the one who created the death and created the life to try which of you is best in conduct. So every generation of human beings, in their particular time, in their particular place, and in the particular way that they will be existing, each and every one is and will be tried by something of good and something of evil. And when Allah says, الْيَوْمَ أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ, I have perfected for you your way of life, He's saying, I have given you a way, a perfect way, to deal with existence as I have created it. And how are we to deal with it? Because good and evil is always with us. It's always with us. So therefore, what does Al-Islam tell us to do? So the Qur'an says it. Alhamdulillah. Surah 41, Ayah 34. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا سيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. صدق الله العظيم. The 34th verse of the 34th verse of the 41st chapter says, not equal are the excellent and the evil. Some translators say good and evil. But we're focusing on this word hasana, right? Repel the evil by that which is excellent, and thereupon the one between whom and you was enmity will become like a devoted friend. This is what Allah is telling us to do. This is what He says in the Qur'an. The excellent and the evil are not equal. Repel, remove the evil with the excellent, and it will become as though the one between whom and you was enmity. They will become like protecting devoted friends. And the verse that follows, verse 35 of Surah 41. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما يلقاها إلى الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلى ذو حظ عظيم. صدق الله العظيم. A translation of it or an expression of it is, no one will be granted such goodness except those who exercise patience and self-restraint, none but persons of the greatest good fortune. So, alhamdulillah, this is Allah's advice. See, reality is not going to change. That's why I mentioned the word ontology, because it speaks to it is what it is. That we use that language, but that's a philosophical statement. Life is what it is, and life has good and evil. So to press for a world where there is no evil and everything is all good, no. But in reality, for the believer, it is all good. As the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's the strange case of the believer. For them, it's all good. When they suffer the impact of bad things in their life, they are patient, they have sabr, and that's good for them. And when good things happen for them, they have shukr, they are grateful, and that's good for them. So that's a way in this perfect way of life, al-Islam, that for the believer, it's all good, because each one is an opportunity for them to live in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered. So the point is, it is in the nature of life. So to protect ourselves from having the aspiration to have a world where there is no evil, that's never going to happen. And Allah is telling us that's never going to happen. The trial is ahasnul amala. Ahasan, there's that word again. Excellence is the way you get through it. Be excellent. That's the way you get through it. And what's the model for excellence? Who is the model for excellence? You know, it is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So how did he deal with the good and the evil of his time and his circumstance? He dealt with it with his excellent nature. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. It says, لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجع الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. صدق الله العظيم. This is the 21st verse of the 33rd surah of the Qur'an. It says, there is certainly for you in the Messenger of Allah an excellent pattern of conduct for anyone whose hope is in Allah and the last day and remembers Allah often. So let's get to this reality. Life is what it is, and life has in it good and evil. And the potential for good and evil, Allah already knows. The good and evil in man, the good and evil in creation. I don't like the word evil for that. When we talk about creation, but and this is why the Arabic words are the best. The Quranic Arabic word, shar, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. So God has put shar in what He has created. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. But as what? It's a trial. لِيَبْلُوكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ الْعَمَلَ. So if we get focused on particulars and individuals and who's the president, who's not the president, who's doing what in what country, etc. Yes, those things come to our mind. But when we pull back and we look at life as a whole and all that it brings through the lens of the created reality as Allah has done it and the intention of God for life here and hereafter, then the way that we quote-unquote get through it and the way that we have peace within it is to accept its reality, believe the way Allah has told us to believe with regard to it, and act in the way that has been modeled for us by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every other way leads to anxiety and nervousness and lack of peace and fear and depression and doubt, and that's not what Al-Islam invites us to. Qur'an says, بَلَّ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ وَجَهُ لِلَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسِنٌ فَلَّهُ عَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Nay, whosoever submits their whole self to Allah and is a doer of good, they have their reward with their Lord. On such shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's our model. And inside of both of these verses, when we speak of the first verse, 41:34, in this reference, it says, وَلَا تَسْتَوِي الْحَسَنَةُ وَلَا سَيِّئَةُ. It says, and not equal. So this is tastawi. So this siwa is in there, right? Hasana is in there. And you see this also in the verse 33:21, speaking of Muhammad. Uswatan hasana. Uswatan. So same words, same roots, same words, same base stem, etc. Siwa, hasana. Siwa, hasana. In both 41:34 and 33:21. So the correlation between these two tell us is that, okay, this is the nature of life, and this is how you get through it. This is the nature of life. The nature of life is that, yes, there's good and evil, but the good and evil are not equal. The way you deal with the evil is respond with your excellence. And how do you respond with your excellence? You follow the model of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how did Muhammad deal with the evil that he was faced with? You know what he did? He prayed for his enemy. He prayed for his enemy. And he advised the believer, and put that capital B on that, right? Let's go back to 41:35. He says, no one can do this but those who exercise patience and self-restraint. And nobody can do this but those who have been given the greatest good fortune. It's not for everybody. Meaning the desire, the opportunity is for everybody, but everybody can't do it. Only those who are really blessed can do it, and who really believe can do it. And Muhammad is the model of that. Okay? So yes, it's counterintuitive. We had to go get them. We need justice. We need an army. We need this. Is that what Muhammad did when he was faced with what he was facing? Let's get a couple of examples. This time is going away from us now. In the early part of the mission of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you know that Umar ibn al-Khatib radiallahu anhu was a big enemy of the Prophet? In fact, when he came to al-Islam, he came after being detoured from going to assassinate the Prophet. And I won't tell the whole story, but the point is that even when Omar was in this state against Muhammad, it's reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made a dua. He said, "Oh Allah, strengthen Islam with one of two men whom you love more, Abu Jahl or Omar ibn al-Khattab." He did this when both of these men were strong enemies of his. So the evil that they were putting on him was big. But he didn't pray for Allah to strike them down. He did this when both of them were strong enemies of his. But because of the Prophet's supplication, Omar went on to become one of the greatest of the early Muslims and a role model for the entire Muslim community. Some of us can't imagine praying for those that we see as enemies right now, but that's what the Prophet modeled for us, and he is لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. He is our excellent model. In another instance, Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he reported that Abu al-Tufail, he came with his companions. A group of people came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, the tribe of Daws, they are disbelieving, they are rejecting you, so pray to Allah against them." And it was said, the Prophet said, "May the tribe of," they said, the group said, "May the tribe of Daws be destroyed." I mean, they were all with Tufail, who was calling for the Prophet to send the curses upon these people. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, he made the dua. He said, "Oh Allah, guide the tribe of Daws and bring them to me." And in another narration, the Prophet told them, "Return to your people and invite them to Allah and be gentle with them." Counterintuitive. Some of the things that we think we should do when we reference al-Islam, al-Islam says no. The invitation of Islam is to do this and to do that. And the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "La darar wa la darar wa la darar." Let there be no harming or reciprocating of harm. Most times we think that it's tit for tat. That's not al-Islam. Al-Islam, la darar wa la darar. And we don't have the time to elaborate on it, but particularly in the case of Taif, I'll begin the report, and now we'll give the concluding point. Once Aisha radiallahu anha, she asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, was there ever any day that was more difficult for you than the day of the Battle of Uhud?" There were many harsh things that happened to the Prophet in the battle of Uhud, and so that was seen by Aisha when she was asking this question. That had to be the worst day of your life, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Yes, there was a day that was worse." Right? In the Battle of Uhud, the Prophet was wounded. He bled. His face was cut. He lost his teeth. Some arrows had hit him, all of that on the day of Uhud. But the Prophet told her, "Yes, the day of Taif was worse for me than the day of Uhud. That was the most difficult point in my life." So you talk about evil being put upon the Prophet, and most of you know the story, so I don't have to elaborate on it, because most of us remember that he was stoned and rebuked and rebuffed and ran out of the city, and blood went down his body to where it was soaked in his sandals, and he could be heard squishing in his sandals as he walked away. And at that low point, the Prophet made a dua, which is itself classic, which we won't speak to, but you can find it, the dua that the Prophet made after his abuse in Taif. But I want to just mention how Allah responded, and I know our time is up. After the Prophet made that dua, this is how Allah responded. The Prophet said he then saw a cloud hovering over him, and lo and behold, he saw Jibreel. the angel that brought the revelation. The angel Jibreel came down from the cloud, and beside him was another angel that he had never seen before. And Jibreel said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "O Muhammad, your Lord has seen how your people have responded to you. Your Lord has seen what they have said to you. So he has sent me with the angel of the mountain to place at your disposal." And the angel spoke to Muhammad, said, "If you want, command me, and I will cause the two mountains of Taif to collapse on these people." Taif was on a plateau between two mountains. That's where the city is and was. The Prophet, still bleeding, his shoes still wet with his blood, he said, "No. Rather, I pray that Allah blesses their children to be Muslims and worship Allah alone. Even if they have rejected Islam, I pray that Allah blesses their progeny to be Muslim." Subhanallah. So, how do we respond to the evil? We respond in the ways that Allah has invited us to. Is it easy? No, it's not. But that's why there's such a great reward in it. So let us keep in mind that good and evil are not equal, and you can remove the evil with the excellence. So let us respond with the best of our nature in accordance with the model of the best of humanity, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may God guide us and those who are enemies of ours and enemies to us. May He guide them to the best understanding, inshallah. Thank you for your time. May the peace that only